Hey y'all! Welcome back to D&D Drag Queens, where we build your favorite drag queens for D&D so you can be as sassy and fabulous as you want in your campaign. Today we're building the queen of all queens, the mama matron, the queen that got hit by a car in the streets of Amsterdam, Miss Jinkx Monsoon. Jinkx is an improv and comedy queen known for winning RuPaul's Drag Race twice, once on season 5 and again on All Stars season 7. She had masterclass performances in the Snatch Game for both seasons as Little Edie, Natasha Lyonne, and Judy Garland. Her charm and sense of humor has helped her win fans all over the world, making her an internationally tolerated drag queen. Jinkx is devoted to her beliefs and ideals. She's a sly witch that conspired with her friends to buy a house in Portland, Oregon before a condo company could snag it, or as she lovingly put it,
So, in between these two luxury condos is this group house full of queer witches.
Jinkx is a human, but we want a feat, so we're going to do custom lineage. We get a +2 to any stat of our choice. For this build, we're going to choose wisdom. We also get proficiency in one skill of our choice. Jinkx is a particularly powerful personality, so we're going to pick persuasion. For our feat, we're going to pick Fey Touch, which gives us a +1 to intellect, wisdom, or charisma. We'll choose wisdom. We also get the Misty Step spell for free and one first level spell from the Divination and Enchantment School. We're going to choose Bless. Flavor Bless as Jinkx helping people relax through laughter. Remember, relaxing helps people concentrate and focus. Both Misty Step and Bless can be cast without using a spell slot once each day. Otherwise, they can be cast like normal spells with regular spell slots.
Jinkx has been performing drag since she was 15. She can sing and make people laugh, but she isn't known for being particularly acrobatic nor athletic, so we're going to customize a background for her. We'll modify the entertainer background with proficiencies in performance and deception, disguise kit, and one instrument of your choice.
For stats, we're going to use the standard point array. If you roll for stats, keep in mind we're going to multi-class later in the build. We're going to make our strength 8, dexterity 13, constitution 12, intelligence 10, wisdom 15, and charisma 14. Once we apply our racials and feat bonuses, that turns into a strength of 8, a dexterity of 13, a constitution of 12, intelligence 10, wisdom 18, and charisma 14. Before we get into this build, if you like our content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us grow the channel and make more content that y'all like.
Jinkx is a spiritual woman who's not afraid to bring up witchcraft when the time is right. So our first level is going to be in Cleric. Clerics get proficiency in wisdom and charisma saving throws. They also get proficiency in light armor, medium armor, shields, and simple weapons. For skill proficiencies, we are choosing insight and religion, since Jinkx not only knows her beliefs, but has an uncanny ability to read people as well. Jinkx's abilities also translate well with the trickery domain. At level 1, she gets Charm Person and Disguise Self. Sure, you can use your natural wit and makeup skills to get you far, but if you need the extra oomph, these spells are there for you. Trickery domain also gives us Blessing of the Trickster, which allows us to give others advantage on stealth checks for 1 hour, or until we use it on somebody else. This has unlimited uses, which is great for those moments where you don't want your party to stand out or you want to be safe in a maxi challenge. For cantrips, we suggest Sacred Flame, Guidance, and Thaumaturgy. Flavor Sacred Flame is Jinkx reading people to filth. Thaumaturgy can make your voice booming, making it harder for people to ignore you. And Guidance is such a good cantrip it's hard to ignore. At this point, you can prepare 5 cleric spells. We suggest Healing Word for ranged healing, Guiding Bolt for insane low-level damage, and Bane for when you don't want to use Bless. Think of Bane as reading a group of enemies. Your insults make them more susceptible to your party's attacks. The last 2 spells can be of your choice. Remember, you have Bless always prepared because of Fey Touch, which frees up a slot for something more interesting, like Sanctuary or Shield of Faith.
At level 2, we get our Channel Divinity. There are 3 uses for our Channel Divinity: Turn Undead, Harness Divine Power, and Invoke Duplicity. Turn Undead does what it says on the package. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a Wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. Harness Divine Power was introduced in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It allows you to expend a use of your Channel Divinity to regain 1 expended spell slot as a bonus action. The level of the spell can be no higher than half your proficiency bonus rounded up. You can use this feature once at 2nd level. This ability is great when you want to recharge a spell slot and there's no sign of a long rest coming. Invoke Duplicity allows us to create a perfect illusion of ourselves that lasts for 1 minute and uses our concentration. We can move the illusion up to 30 feet with a bonus action, as long as it stays within 120 feet of us, and if a creature is within 5 feet of both of us and the illusion, we will get advantage on attack rolls because of how awesome our illusion is. We can also cast spells through our illusion, which is great for some shenanigans. Unfortunately, this feature uses our concentration. Ask your DM if they're okay with dropping the concentration requirement. That's a fairly common homebrew.
At level 3, we get access to second level spells and our domain spells, Mirror Image and Pass Without Trace. Mirror Image lasts for 1 minute and does not require concentration. You create duplicates of yourself that move with you and mimic your actions. When an enemy attacks you, you roll a d20 to determine whether the attack hits one of your duplicates or if it hits you instead. The more duplicates you have, the lower the number you need to roll. If an attack hits a duplicate, the duplicate is destroyed, but that's the only way to destroy them unless you dismiss them. This doesn't help you with creatures that have true sight or can't see, but there aren't many of those monsters anyway. Combine this with your Invoke Duplicity and cast your spells through it, and confuse your enemies with your laugh and crazy eyes. Second level spells to consider are Aid for the temporary HP, Flavor as Jinkx telling a joke or a story to liven up the party, Hold Person. Jinkx's antics are so interesting to watch that they sometimes leave people speechless or motionless, and Spiritual Weapon for the extra damage. It's not the best use of your bonus action, but it's better than nothing for now.
At level 4, we get an ASI. Dump it into Wisdom to max out your casting modifier and burn warrior foes. At level 5, we're going to get Destroy Undead. When an undead fails its saving throw against your turn undead channel divinity, the creature is instantly destroyed, depending on its challenge rating. There's a handy chart for that in the cleric table. We also get access to 3rd level spells and our 3rd level domain spells. Blink lets you flick in and out of the ethereal realm for 1 minute. On each of your turns, you roll a d20, and if it's 11 or higher, you're moved into the ethereal realm. Dispel Magic automatically neutralizes spells 3rd level and lower, and can neutralize higher level spells with a DC check of 10 plus the spell's level. We can flavor this as Jinkx knowing how to improv and volley with people to the point to where they're speechless. 3rd level spells to consider include Spirit Guardians to damage any hostile creatures that dare get near you, Revivify to bring your fellow party members back to life, and Sending to annoy the crap out of your friends or other monsters by speaking telepathically.
For level 6, we get a new option for our channel divinity, Cloak of Shadows. As an action, you become invisible until the end of your next turn. You become visible if you attack or cast a spell. Use this with Pass Without Trace and you'll be nearly impossible to see. At 7th level, clerics get access to 4th level spells and their 4th level domain spells. Our domain spells are Dimension Door and Polymorph. Dimension Door allows you to teleport 500 feet away into any spot that you can see. You can bring a buddy along with you if you're within 5 feet of them, enabling some pretty wild escape shenanigans. Polymorph is one of the most broken spells in the game. You can transform a creature into anything that's its challenge rating or player level and lower. Unwilling creatures have to succeed on a wisdom saving throw, but given that it's probably DC 16 at this point, it's unlikely they'll pass. Transformed creatures have the stats and HP of the new creature, and when their hit points are reduced to 0, they transform back. You can essentially give your party members temporary HP in a pinch or turn a serious boss fight into a cakewalk. 4th level cleric spells aren't terribly interesting, so we recommend Banishment to send away people that annoy you too much, especially if they are part of a clique that begins with Relax and ends with a Tox.
Level 8 Trickery Clerics normally get Divine Strike, but this build focuses more on spellcasting than hitting people with your makeup brushes, so we're going to use Blessed Strikes from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Blessed Strikes lets you deal an extra 1d8 radiant damage when a creature takes damage from your cantrips or weapon attacks once on your turn. We also get an ASI. If you plan on going the more physical attack route, increase your dexterity with a half feat such as Resilient, but we're going to pick Charisma. This will give us a bigger boost to those performance checks.
At 9th level, clerics get access to 5th level spells and their domain spells, which are Dominate Person and Modify Memory. Dominate Person forces the target to make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you. While the target is charmed, you have a telepathic link with it as long as you two are both on the same plane of existence. You can use this telepathic link to issue commands to the creature while you're conscious, which it does its best to obey. Or you can use your action to take total and precise control of the creature. Each time the creature takes damage, it must make a new wisdom saving throw against the spell. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Modify Memory is one of the most interesting and best spells of the game. One creature that you can see must make a wisdom saving throw. They get advantage on this saving throw if you're fighting them. On a failed save, the target becomes charmed by you for the rest of the duration. This charm incapacitates and makes the creature unaware of its surroundings even though it can still hear you. If it takes any damage or is targeted by another spell, the spell ends, and none of the target's memories are modified. You can affect the target's memory of an event that it experienced within the last 24 hours and that lasted no longer than 10 minutes. You can permanently eliminate the memory, allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity and exacting detail, change its memory, memory or change the details of the event. You must speak to the target to describe how its memories are affected, and it must be able to understand your language for the modified memories to take root. Its mind fills in any gaps with details of your description. If the spell ends before you finish describing the modified memory, the creature's memory isn't altered. Otherwise, the modified memories take hold when the spell ends. A modified memory does not necessarily mean the target creature will believe it. A modified memory that makes no sense, such as a drag queen being on time to an event, is dismissed and perhaps considered a bad dream. Be careful what you modify the memory to and hope your DM isn't a dick about it. 5th level spells to consider preparing include scrying, for spying on your competition to see if what they brought was better than what you brought, and greater restoration to hopefully restore that chipped tooth you got in a LARPing accident.
For level 10, we're going to switch it up to Ranger. At first level, Rangers get Favored Foe, which lets you tag any creature that you hit with an attack, dealing extra 1d6 damage. The first time you tag a creature with this ability, you can deal an extra 1d4 damage as well. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier, which means you can use this 4 times. This feature resets on a long rest. Also at level 1, you get Deft Explorer, which gives you the Canny ability. This lets you get an expertise in a skill you are proficient with, and you also get 2 languages of your choice. We're going to choose Performance for expertise, since Jinkx is a singer and an actor. For level 11, we're taking another level of Ranger. 2nd level Rangers get a fighting style. You're not necessarily a character that uses physical attacks, so we're going to pick the defensive fighting style, which gives you a +1 to your AC. You're wearing medium armor, and the extra AC is nice to have, even in the late game. If you want to focus on ranged weapon attacks, then you can pick the archery style here, which will go well with a feature we're picking up next level. We also get access to Ranger spells. Unlike clerics, Rangers aren't prepared casters, so they have to choose their spells. To calculate how many spell slots you have, use the multi-classing spell table on page 165 of the player's handbook. For spells, we chose Fog Cloud and Good Berry for the extra crowd control and healing. If you don't want to have another concentration spell, pick Longstrider and Good Berry instead.
For level 12, we're going another level in Ranger. This gets us Primeval Awareness or Primal Awareness. We're going to choose Primal Awareness, which gives us the spell Speak with Animals. 3rd level Rangers also get to choose their subclass. We are going to pick Fey Wanderer, which gives us Dreadful Strikes and Otherworldly Glamour. Dreadful Strikes lets you deal an extra 1d4 psychic damage to a target once per turn when you hit them with a weapon. This build is focused a lot on being a spellcaster, but if you choose to focus on physical attacks, this is a great source of extra damage. What we're really here for, though, is Otherworldly Glamour. This lets you add your Wisdom modifier to a Charisma check and give you proficiency in either Deception, Performance, or Persuasion. We're already proficient in all of those skills, but the bonus from our Wisdom modifier allows us to really wow people. At this point, your performance will have a +16 modifier and your other Charisma checks should have a +14 modifier. You'll have a hard time not impressing people with those scores. And that's where the build comes online. From here, you can continue with Cleric for the spell slot progression, Ranger for a more physical build, or even multi-class Fighter for second wind and action surge. If you choose to go further into Cleric, you'll get access to those sweet high-level spell slots. Focus on casting and flavor your verbal components as jokes and stories. Remember, laughter is healing. Spells to consider are Plane Shift, Anti-Magic Field, and True Resurrection.
If you go further into Ranger, you'll get Extra Attack, Beguiling Twist, Fey Reinforcements, and Misty Wanderer. This route was great for people that want to dive more into the Fey side or the more physical side of the build. Spells to consider are Spike Growth, Summon Beasts, Conjure Animals, Plant Growth, Summon Elemental, and Swift Quiver.
And that is our build for the double-crowned drag queen Jinkx Monsoon. This was a long one, but it was a fun one to make. Thank you for making it to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. May your days be fabulous and fierce.